Hello and welcome. I'm Jenny Hall. Thanks for joining me for another card making tutorial. Today I'd like to share a vintage card design. I will be using the new Stitched Seasons framelits dies to cut a double stitched framed opening for a shabby chic or vintage farm style look. I'm going to be using the stamp set from Lots of Happy card kit. I've used a lot of the components on a lot of different cards, but the stamp set is what really caught my eye, so I've made sure to keep it around in my stash. I've die cut the medium label of the double stitched dies from Stitched Seasons framelits dies, so I'll have a peek through area. These label dies really have a vintage look to me, and they are very adaptable for lots of designs, so I think this look will lend itself very well. I'm using this as a guide to see that I want to have the stamping be partially under the die cut and partially exposed. For a little bit of a no-line watercolor look, or no-line coloring look, I stamped the images in soft seafoam. I'll be using soft seafoam for some of the colored leaves. So this is a nice accompaniment. I'm starting off with Flirty Flamingo, and this is the light marker in the Stampin' Blend set. Coloring the entire rose image, then I come back with a darker marker, and this is going to be I've used the medium and the light Flirty Flamingo and the light Lovely Lipstick. So the Lovely Lipstick is the darkest in the set. I've started with the lightest and colored the image, then brought in some deeper tones with the medium marker, added the really deep tones and the outline, and then used that light tone again to push some of the colors back. So this would allow me to get a little bit of I guess I'll say a bit of a fuzzy or loose look to the flower. I don't want them to be precise. I'm thinking of a very old vintage china teacup with this look. Once all the images are colored, then I'm using Tranquil Tide Stampin' Right marker to add some flick marks, as that will give me some atmosphere in the center of the design. I'm using a sponge dauber and soft suede ink to give some vintage brown look around the outside, and I'm really not needing to add much color to this dauber. I have used it before and it still carried a bit of the brown ink, and I don't want this to be very brown. I just want it to kind of look aged and distressed. So I thought about mixing up a custom look, but in the end I decided to use what was left on the sponge dauber. And to get some of that color to go gradually into the middle, then I'm moving the sponge dauber from the outside toward the inside in some flick motions, so that the brown color will gradually fade into the center. This is going to allow that middle area to really stand out and carry the sentiment and not compete with the floral images. Because I cut both of these panels the same size, it was easy for me to line them up with some liquid glue. Keeping with that brown look, I'm going to stamp the sentiment in early espresso ink. So there are lots of sentiments in this little stamp set, and it's an amazing stamp set. It's very on trend, and it doesn't interfere with that vintage look whatsoever. I would like to use it more, but I sometimes forget about it because I keep it packed away in the card kit. But I think I'm going to find a special place for it now. we often have some extra stamp cases around, so I'll have to definitely keep this one out in my work area. The inside of the card has another one of the small florals that I've just added a little bit of that brown dauber. And for the front of the card, I added some accents with the white iridescent sequins from the metallics assortment. I really hope that you enjoy this project, and if you do try it, then I'd love to see your results. If you have any ideas you would like for me to demonstrate and share here on my YouTube channel, I am so happy to hear them. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I'll see you next time.
Hi, my name is Trip. Thanks for watching the video. See you next time.